Well, hello, Avenue, and welcome to this video interview with Alice Waters, our candidate for the Youth and Families Worker at Avenue. As hopefully most of you know by now, we are getting ready for two church member votes coming at the July family meeting on Tuesday, the 6th of July. We're voting for two staff appointments, voting to appoint a new women's worker and to appoint a new youth and families worker. And this video is to help us introduce us to Alice, who the elders are proposing as the candidate for the youth and families worker. So Alice, thanks so much for being interviewed by me today. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So Alice, just again, you're not well known by most of us at Avenue. So just to start off, can you tell us a bit about yourself, sort of where you're from, kind of where you're living now, family, anything that will be helpful for us?
Yeah, great. So I grew up in Romford, which is sort of in the middle of like the London, Essex border, that kind of area. And I'm currently living in Stratford in East London, which is not too far from there. And I live there with my husband, Sam, who I met about 5 years ago at our church currently, which is Crossway Stratford. And we've been married just over 2 years. And he wanted me to tell you all that he's a proud Northerner. He's from and what else? I grew up going to church with my family. I've got two sisters and a brother. And I became a Christian around the age of like 10, 11 when I was at a kids camp actually. And I'm sure I must have heard it loads of times before, but someone clearly explained the gospel and like how to become a Christian. And it just all kind of clicked. So God must have opened my eyes to the truth of the gospel at that point, I think. And then I guess it's just a gradual growth in faith and learning more about the Lord since then. The last few years, so for the last 2 years, I've been a ministry trainee at my church in Stratford. So that's been doing like a Bible handling course called Cornhill, being taught how to like read the Bible, teach the Bible better. It's also involved lots of children's work and various other things, leading a small group, etc. Before that, I was working in the charity sector in project management. I've done a few different types of things along the way.
No, thanks, Alice. That's great to get a little picture of who you are. So I guess, Alice, why do you think it is so important for a local church like Avenue to be committed to youth and children and families work?
Yeah, well, I think the first reason why it's so important is because it's important to God. There's lots in the Bible about like passing on the truth about him to the next generations. And with Jesus, we see how much he like values children and welcomes them and even holds them up as an example of like childlike faith. So I think that's why it's really important. And so therefore, I guess it's about teaching children and young people the Bible, particularly in a way that is relevant and accessible to their age group and understanding, which is something that I find really exciting. I was thinking about, I used to work with the 3 to 5-year-olds at our church quite a lot, and they just soak stuff in like sponges, like asking some profound questions sometimes. And so I think it's just such a privilege to be able to teach children and young people the Bible at such a young age. So that hopefully that's a foundation for like a lifetime of loving Jesus. I guess when it comes to like young people and teenagers at that point, I think it's important because there's so many other voices out in the world and like decisions to make about life. So helping young people to work out what does it look like to live out their faith day by day. And I guess as well as that age group is like getting older, teaching young people to read the Bible confidently themselves, I think is something that I'm really excited about. And then the families part of that, the piece about the families work, I think it's quite clear in the Bible that that's the primary responsibility of parents, so that the work we're doing at church is to be in partnership with parents, raising their children in the Lord. I guess that work being about complementing what the parents are already doing and discipling their children, supporting parents to do that, just having that kind of partnership both ways, really.
Yes. Oh, great. So I guess thinking about that, think about a church like Avenue. What do you think are some of the important things a church like we can put in place to disciple children and young people and families?
Yeah, I think there's four main things that I've thought about. So the first is like faithful Bible teaching. So I guess a bit what I've been saying just now of it being like appropriate, relevant, and accessible for their different age groups and levels of understanding. Um, then having like faithful, committed group of volunteers. So leaders of the groups who can teach the children the Bible, pray for them, be like examples and role models of what it looks like to live a life growing in godliness and growing in love for the Lord through life's ups and downs and challenges. The third thing I thought of was safeguarding, so ensuring that it's a safe environment and framework for children and young people to learn about the Lord. So maybe that is having safe recruitment for volunteers, making sure that everyone is DBS, and just like embedding safeguarding policies and things into everything we do to help ensure that everyone is safe and that we can teach the gospel safely, I suppose. And yeah. And the fourth thing was that partnership with parents bit that I was talking about. So yeah, how can we link together, maybe communicate with parents what we're learning in our groups so that they can continue that teaching and discipling at home as well.
Great, Alison. Thank you. I think that's really helpful. So I guess final question, why are you excited about coming to work with us at Avenue?
Yeah. Well, I was saying to Richard just before that when I saw the job advert, the thing that really stuck out to me was your values as a church family. So I think that's like Bible-based, God-centered, but particularly the ones trying to remember them all. Particularly the ones around like being like a loving family and like community is in your name, and I guess they're values that I share and that I think are biblical. And when Sam and I came to visit last week, it was quite clear to us that you really were as a church family seeking to live those values out. So I think we are really excited to come and be part of a church family like that. And I think I'm also excited to see more of what does go on in the children and young people groups already, and to learn what you do already, build on it, just grow it, that kind of thing.
Great. Well, no, Alice, thank you so much for being interviewed for this today. As I said at the beginning, this is sort of an interview to help church members as we move towards 2 church members votes in July at the July family meeting on Tuesday, the 6th of July. Just to give you a flavour of, I guess, Alice and why we as elders are really excited to be proposing her as the candidate for youth and families worker. And we'll be sending out in an email more details about how the votes will work, how you can make sure you do vote as a church member. That'll be largely over email on the lead up to the family meeting on Zoom in July. But for now, Alice, thank you so much for being interviewed by me today.
Thank you, Richard.
And we hope that everyone find this video helpful. Thanks, everyone.